Hey, nerdlings! This episode of the Nerdist Podcast Live is brought to you by Audible. Please go to audiblepodcast.com/nerdist and sign up for your free audiobook. Audiobooks, they're like reading for your ears. Now for the show.
Now entering Nerdist.com.
Oh, you guys, so nice. So nice. So nice. One more time, a little more energy. No, you guys were good. You guys were good. That was amazing. Thank you so much for coming tonight to the Nerdist Podcast. I think this is number 22. Craig Ferguson's gonna be here later on. I know. He came for when we did the first one here, the Adam Savage podcast, Craig was here. And oh good, an affirmation. Yes, you're right, he was. Thank you for checking that. I'm the fact checker and I agree. Yes, Adam Savage was here, as is readily available on the worldwide internet. All right, so Craig was here and afterwards he came back and said, I want to do your show. And I'm like, do it! Although he might not want to do it now after my Scottish accent. Sorry guys, I've had a lot of fucking caffeine today. I'm literally like my molecules are vibrating into another dimension right now. I feel, I'm trying to get a panic attack. Have you guys ever had a panic attack before, anyone? Yay! Oh, for those of you who've never had one before, imagine being fucked in the heart. That's kind of what it's like. Maybe you want to avoid that. Maybe you want to avoid that. Here in Los Angeles, California. This, you know, guys, we're about to hit a very important milestone that may have already happened. There's a local businessman by the name of Crazy Gideon who is going out of business. He's going out of business. I know. Did you not know this? Did you not know about it? Did you ever shop at Crazy Gideon's? No. Well, what the fuck do you care about? The guy was here for decades. I know he had the commercials, by the way, amazing, because I don't know where he's from. Do you know where he's from? He's from Israel or he's not from here. And what was so amazing about him is that he's one of those appliance guys that does the shitty local commercials where he's trying to tell you how crazy he is. I'm so crazy. I don't know why you want to conduct business with an insane person, but it doesn't matter. In his commercials, he's in a straight jacket, and then he breaks out of that and throws a smaller TV through a big TV, because what sane person would, and you know, like, but he's so focused on the idea of sanity that I think he should just literally come out and go, hello, I am Crazy Gideon, and my prices are low because I am clinically insane. In 1953, I was touched by my Uncle Yuri, and that means savings for you. If I had the courage, I would slash my own wrists. But since I do not, I am slashing my prices on Hamilton Beach 3-speed electric blenders. I have smeared my own shit in a variety of items. Inquire about my brown tag sale. Then I imagine the commercial just degenerates into a complete non-linear chain of psychosis. I'm Crazy Gideon, shiny pumpkins, fuck my eye holes! What? Fuck my eye holes? I grew up really nerdy, and it's not cool. It wasn't cool then. Like, I grew up nerdy in the early 80s before we learned irony. Like, you know, like, we didn't have it then. We just were what we were at face value. And it wasn't cool. And so I get very frustrated when I'm walking down, like, Silver Lake Boulevard or whatever, and looking at $600 sneakers in a shitty building with bars on the windows. And some kid walks down the street, just some young kid with a swagger of, like, busting out the Atari 2600 t-shirt. That's fucking bullshit. He doesn't know. I suffered for that shirt. You know what I mean? Like, Suffered. Like, I used to bring Atari 2600 game cartridges to school. Couldn't play them there, but I just needed them as some kind of nerd security blanket. Just needed them close by. Oh, combat, good. Oh, adventure, fantastic. Video game. This was a time when, and the Atari 2600 was awesome, by the way. I mean, a gaming system where squares could shoot lines at other squares. Delightful. And I suffered for that, and there was no, like, I didn't have the presence of mind to go to school and be like, hey, it's pretty fucking funny, I bought a 2600. Like, it was awesome thing to do back then. And every activity that I was in did not impress other kids. And when I was in 8th grade, I grew up in Memphis. I didn't just go to towns and grift on their chess scenes. I won the Memphis City Chess Championship in 8th grade. And they announced, I'm glad you're excited, because when they announced it at school, the kids weren't overwhelmed. I would say they were pretty squarely whelmed with that information. My win was actually celebrated by one kid telling all the other kids in school that I fingered his cat. Yep, that's right. Fingered his cat. Kids, well, how long could they run with that one? What, a weekend at the most? 2 weeks tops? 2 years! 2 years! Kids were following me around going, here, kitty, kitty. So fuck you, kid with the Atari 2600 shirt. It's bogus. I love technology, as you probably know, and so it's funny to me that people still complain that in the year 2010 that it's not the world of tomorrow as was foreseen in the 1950s. Where are the flying cars, people say, or where are the robots who bring us blue-colored drinks and warn us of danger? All right. We may not have those things specifically, but do you know what we have, you guys? You know what we have? Laser vaginal rejuvenation surgery. Yeah. It's in the LA Weekly. They probably know their demographics. Someone can aim a laser at your vagina and make it smaller. What? The world of tomorrow is today, people! And there's a functional army of super tight future pussy out there to prove it. But they were so sexually repressed in the 50s, like, they never would have talked about that, you know? Like, even if they had the technology, they never would have talked about it in some sort of a newsreel film, like, the world of tomorrow, Dateline 1954, where these days vaginas are bigger than McCarthyism. A generation of mothers and whores looks to science to solve the whole problem. Say, Mom, what's going on down there? Why, after 4 kids, you could rent that thing out as a bomb shelter. But in the world of tomorrow, a highly concentrated beam of light focused at the right spot will have Dad asking, hey, is this your first time? Thumbs up, Dr. Weld Snatch. Thanks to you, the future looks vagina amazing. That was nice. I like that applause. That's the applause of, he really worked hard on that. Let's give him a little something. Look at him up there. Look at him up there trying and stuff. I love it. I've done enough yappity. If it's all right, I would like to bring out my best friend in the world. Mr. Mike Furman is here. Mike Furman! What's up, Mr. Firm?
Oh, not much. How you doing?
Pretty good. How's the fields?
Well, not bad, not bad. A little worn down, but they're still there.
Dun, 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 dun. This is what a fucking idiot I am. This is Mike's melodica, because I left one at home, and in Hard Firm HQ, we gotta have a melodica in each camp, because you never know.
One for the car, one for the back of the car.
You never know when you're gonna break out into some sort of a hooter fight.
Yeah.
What did someone call it? The nerd flute?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so Mike and I are going to do a quick song for you. By the way, I would like to say Mike Furman has just released his solo album, which is amazing.
Thank you.
Is it not called The Last Songs I Will Ever Write, Part 1?
The very last song
The very last
I will
songs
ever record.
Part
Part
one.
1.
Fantastic. Well, if you want to hear Mike Furman, you can go to music.mikefurman.com. Music.mikefurman, that's a subdomain. You ready?
Yes, I am.
We're going to do a quick song for you. I think it shall reflect the vibe of the evening. Even this song is about success. We hope you enjoy it. Count it off.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You are a mountain with gold in your streams. Your trees are strong, for they are rooted in dreams. Look at me! Your soul's tapestry shimmers unfurled. For you are a diamond on the ring of the world. Thanks. So lift your head up high and say, nothing stopped it. Don't touch me! Me today. You'll break through the doubt that stood in your way. Don't touch me. You can do anything. Shrapnel! If you believe, light the fire inside of you, and you will achieve. You can do anything. It's true. If you just believe, sleep. Fear is a lock, your heart is the key. Success is the door and admission is free. Believe in yourself, just let it happen. Let a new day begin. With you on your side, you know you. I'm gonna ride you like a Segway. So that head up high and say, I'm bound for greatness, come what may. Good hustle. I'm here to stay. You're amazing. Everything you do is magic. Your destiny's right in front of you. Pet it. Anything is possible, my friends. You can spread your wings. You can fly to the moon if you want to. Just like birds do. Space bird. You can do anything if you believe. Good. Make a plan that says I can, and you will achieve. You can do anything if you believe. You can do anything unless you're a girl. Feel like we
A really good crowd. A really good crowd. We often lose about half the crowd.
About half is a
somewhere
good
in
number.
that song.
Yeah. It's a joke. We're kidding. It's not like we're like, fuck the comedy show, now for the message! Like, we're not trying to do that at all. Ladies and gentlemen, please have a huge hand for Mike Furman. Thank you for coming out here, Mike Furman. And now, I would like to welcome my co-hosts, the lovely Jonah Ray and the delightful Matthew Myra, to the stage. There they are. Oh my God, it's really them. It's really them. What's up, guys? Ah, there we go.
That was fun.
That was fun.
So nice to hear musical, humorous follies.
We like to follow a folly musical style. It's adorable that you guys are crowded around that same mic.
I asked you if I could sit in the middle one, and then you almost...
Don't you fucking in front of company.
Sorry, Senor Hardwick.
We were sitting backstage, and someone was like, "Oh, you guys always together like this."
Yeah.
We never go further apart than this,
And this right here.
except when walking.
That's weird.
No, I know.
Because I like to strut.
Do you guys, you know what I think is adorable?
He's 6 something, and I'm
That's
much
true,
shorter.
that's a hard fact.
So his gait is much bigger. Like, so I
Would
let
you
him go.
stop that? Don't stop talking like that. You sound like the interstitials on When Harry Met Sally with those old married couples.
I hate those.
We first
I
met
hate
on a
those.
podcast.
Those are the creepiest. Those are the creepiest fucking things. Because it's like you hear stories like the old couples like she worked at a deli on 43rd Street, and I would go in every day and ask her out on a date, and every day she said no, and then she goes like, I said no, and he's all, and he's like, until one day. She said yes. We've been together ever since. What if you knew that guy at the time? Say, hey man, you want to get some pizza? No, I'm going to that deli on 43rd Street. Dude, again?
Wow, why-
Oh man.
What's
That
with the
girl's
blade? Well, she's gonna say yes this time.
One day. It's like basically he drove her to the point where she couldn't even utter the word yes.
Yes,
She's like, yes, fine, I'll go.
The secret to a long marriage is to ground your partner's will into a nub. Is basically what he took away from that.
It's just loving them into submission.
Did you? Now, you guys went to the. You went and saw Ghostbusters at the New Beverly, right?
So Ghostbusters and Mystery Team. Yes. We sat apart from each other though that night.
Oh, that must have been hard.
It was good. It was a double feature with Mystery Team, and if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest checking it out. Very funny movie.
Did you put the popcorn in your lap and offer it to Matthew?
I don't get it. I don't what?
It'd be really meta if you did that during Diner. Look how funny I am. You know, Furman and I were having this conversation about. You know, I complain a lot, and I apologize for being complaining, but I complain a lot about people on the web who flame sites and stuff, and and who are shitty online. So Mike made probably my favorite. He's a Photoshop ninja, so he made my favorite picture of all time. It was for a FARC photo contest.
Oh, it wasn't that fart photo contest?
Fart out your favorite photo.
Where you put a little fart bubble next to someone going,
Oh, you're a regular Jackson Pollock of fart work.
a little bit of spittle.
That's gross.
What?
The Jackson Pollock.
Wait, 22 episodes and we just hit your
sorry.
threshold?
Exactly. The idea that Jackson Pollock would ingest weirdly colored things to diarrhea all over a canvas is weird to you?
Don't think I don't appreciate your use of diarrhea as a verb. Now can we make it an adverb? That was really diarrhea-y when you... Oh, that's an adjective. Technically a predicate nominative. Stop it! All right.
Please.
So Furman made probably my favorite Photoshop picture of all time. It was this photo contest was put your favorite movie in a different time period. And so he took this painting of the Ascension of Christ and then put the Ghostbusters behind them, and they trapped Jesus in their proton beams. And so, just for fun, and he called it Ghostbusters 0 BC. And so, of course, what you get...
I know where someone's
See where
going
this
with
is going.
this.
So what you get in the comments are like, technically it should have been 33 BC. AD. It should have been 33
Sorry.
AD. Yeah, so they corrected him. And it just makes me, like, the internet, I love it so much, but I get mad at it because I feel like the internet is that guy who, if you saw... like an adopted child with their adopted mother,
Yeah.
Sorry, you're not done.
I'm not there
Sorry,
yet.
you're not done.
And the adopted kid said, "I love you, Mom." The internet is a guy that will go, "That's not your real mom."
The internet's that guy in your friends that you hang out with because he's got the cool shit.
Yeah.
But he's fucking always pointing shit out like that.
He always has to. The internet always thinks it's better than you.
And it is, mostly.
I like it. I get to talk to my friends. It's really nice.
On socially networking
Sometimes I check
websites?
Sometimes I Friendster my MySpace friends.
Your friends are your MySpace?
Yeah. And then we all meet on what was
LinkedIn.
it? LinkedIn.
Tribe was one.
And then talk about the days we're on makeoutclub.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know that. Maybe you should email me on my Prodigy account.
Yes. I got a sweet GeoCities site. It's out of this world. It's got this drippy font that looks like slime blood.
Do you got some? So you got some animated GIFs on there and some hypertext?
Lots of hypertext.
You guys should pop over to my Angel Fire. It's got some sweet frames.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Hey, if you guys, I don't know. Listen, I don't know if you like masturbating furiously, but I got some ASCII art tits on my computer. If you want to check some of those melons out. They're made out of parentheses.
I remember my dad talking to me about not looking for porn on the internet, and it never occurred to me until he said that. I was like, holy shit, I could look at porn on the internet. So I did.
To this day.
Yep.
To this day.
You're doing it right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Apple rage. You know, I went to the iPhone 4 announcement up in San Francisco, and I think iOS 4 looks pretty cool. And the second I devoted a bonus podcast this week. Oh, I'm sorry, by the way, you guys weren't invited to that one. But
Yeah.
What?
We don't get to meet the fucking Muppets. We don't get to meet Stan Lee.
well, it's probably because you refer to them as the fucking Muppets. Maybe that was part of it. Hey, fucking Kermit, what's going on?
That's what I say. Kermit, you old son of a bitch. What's up?
How's that hand up your ass?
Maybe you would like to suck on some of this shit. All I did was take Kermit's voice and swear. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's so funny that there's so much just raw Apple rage. Why do you think
You
that
mean
is?
in
man?
the good sense of rage, hey.
No, not.
No?
No. Just
What do you mean?
Just like fury. Well, because people when I said I was doing the podcast, they were like, "Yeah, well." You fucking talk about Apple. This was just a tweet. I'm assigning this voice to it.
That's how I read all tweets.
You talk about Steve Jobs enough, you might as well devote a podcast to him so you could suck his dick.
On the podcast?
Yeah.
Dude, I would suck Steve Jobs off so hard.
And you would probably break him. He's a frail man.
I fucking take
Oh, I'm sorry about your dick, Steve Jobs. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about the Wi-Fi on your dick.
The Wi-Fi in?
That's a brilliant idea. That is
Suck on my fi.
Buddy, little hotspot. You guys see the hotspot? You can pair up to 8 devices on this motherfucker.
Tethering not available in the U.S.
Damn you!
I heard he's mostly made up of like Apple products. Like most of his body is gone and been replaced, kind of like Darth Vader.
Yeah, a little bit. And they're gonna peel the mask off someday so he can look
He's
upon
made of
us.
7 Emacs.
Yes. But people think that I get something out of saying things about Apple. Like what? Why can't we just like stuff because we like it? Like Apple doesn't give anyone anything for free. Like Apple, as a matter of fact, treats a lot of people
Apple was
kinda
resented for the longest time for being this little tiny company. Windows was dominant. Now they're resented for the opposite reason of being the dominant thing.
shitty. But I just feel like, Apple is kind of like a hot cheerleader who won't fuck you, but you carry your books anyway. Like that's kind of the relationship that we have with them. Do you want to? You know what I want to talk about? Jonah, what? Did you want to talk about something?
You guys? Yes, Frank?
Did you have a topic that you wanted covered?
Okay.
All right. I was saying my tongue is about to fall out.
Good idea. Moment of silence.
Let's have a moment of silence for the momentum we just lost. There it is. Oh, good. Pity. Good. Jonah and I were talking about like pitching shows and stuff, and so we looked at a breakdown of stuff that networks were looking for, and it's if you ever get a chance to read like a network breakdown of the shows they're looking for, it's hilarious. Almost everyone is like, and I'm not going to say any network names, but they're all abbreviated with letters.
NBG.
But they
probably a network.
literally say things like, these kind of programs are like, we're looking for a breakout hit.
Yeah.
Period.
We want something fresh that's going to be a huge hit. What do you got?
Why don't they just say, we'd like $1 billion?
They also are like, we'd like something in the vein of other hit shows like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make that.
We're looking for a celebrity lesbian show in the cooking space. Like, it's literally
Which
that.
was awesome to read that because we had that idea.
We did. Yeah. Well, there's celebrity.
Pies.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Can we at least be pies and pies so they're lesbian math professors?
Sure,
we can do it that way.
We can do whatever we want. It's reality television.
I was gonna. Well, now that Kim Kardashian is producing shows, that is not a joke. Here's a couple shows I was going to pitch. Celebrity Whore Hunt. I was going to pitch that to E. I don't know what it sounds good. I've mentioned this one on the show, on the podcast lots of times. L-word babies. Adorable. Adorable. Tiny lesbians, big, beautiful doe eyes. Living life out loud.
That was on the breakdowns, right? We want shows about women living their lives out loud.
Out loud, right.
As opposed to, just hiding it behind the oven.
At the Black Network, we don't like internal monologues, so people have to project their voice.
You know what I'm looking forward to, though? Sorry to interrupt you, but there is some good
I don't
shows
think you're that sorry at all, actually.
Because it gives me a chance to talk about the Walking Dead series coming out on AMC.
Oh, yeah.
I have never been this excited for a program in my life.
Really?
Even if someone said, really? Because the Jonah Ray show's coming in next month and you're the star of it. I was like, I don't give a shit. If it's going to get in the way of The Walking Dead, then I will have nothing to do with it.
What are you excited about?
Because it's fucking zombies, and it's The Walking Dead is one of the best zombie stories ever made. It's a comic book series, and it's incredible. It's sprawling. It's amazing. It's going to be the best.
Sprawling?
Sprawling is a word. Is a word I used.
I've always said these zombies aren't sprawling enough.
Right?
Let me watch that for an hour a week.
They're very contained to a small area. I wish they were.
Why are they
I wish they
hitting
would
all?
sprawl more.
I always have the hardest time joking
There are
about
miles of zombie lands.
There are. They would spread out. It would happen.
That's the way.
I have a hard time joking around about zombies.
Is Frank there about doing that?
Yes.
Did you just say I have a hard time joking around about zombies?
Yes. Just like you have a hard time joking around about like bowling. It's like you can't make fun of bowling just the same way I can't make fun of
because
zombies.
it's fucking boring. Zombies
No,
are.
it's like you said yourself, you feel too close to bowling, so you have a hard time making jokes of it.
Well, at least I'm too close to an actual thing.
You'll fucking see, and who's gonna save you? Not me.
Oh my God! Whoa! Hey! Whoa. That is some authoritative beer opening, my friend. Well, I think we've blabbed on enough. I would like to bring out our guest right now, if that's okay with you dudes.
I'm fine with that. I'm excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage from the Craig Ferguson Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson. Mr. Craig Ferguson is here.
How very nice to what a lovely audience out there, like a herd of sprawling zombies.
Yes. Sit over here. You don't want to sit too close to the twins over there. You want to make sure.
I brought my glasses just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, I want to fit in with you guys in your chat about the internet.
The interwebs.
I can't believe it. This is my first podcast. I'm very excited. And I can't believe I turned up and you're talking about the internet and how zombies are cool. I mean, for fuck's sake.
But isn't that
You don't help your stereotype by being it, man. Come on.
isn't that implied in the Nerdist podcast?
Yeah, no,
title
it is.
before you came
I'm
on?
very excited about it. I pretend to be cool, but I cried when I got my tattoos.
Yeah, but
That's a painful spot, though.
That right there, right on your wrist there. If you get a tattoo there, you know it's going to be painful because the other guys who work in the tattoo parlor that are not tattooing you, they come around and they watch, and that's very sore.
How many tattoos do you have?
3. You have to have an odd number of tattoos. I was told that by a tattoo artist.
I said, but so your tat. Is it alright if I mean, normally
Touch me?
It
Feels like
it's
skin.
not cool
Just
to-
feels like skin.
Yeah. Here on a Nerdist podcast, and the host wants to see my tattoos.
Does that say-
And say, did it hurt when you got your tattoo?
That doesn't say Expelliarmus on it, does it?
Yeah.
It goes,
I got a tattoo.
yeah, it's it's a tattoo to stun someone's wand out of their hand.
What's that?
Nothing. I was talking about Harry Potter like I do sometimes alone. Keep going.
Hey,
Oh, you had
Draco Malfoy.
you had Tom
was-
Felton on last night.
No, I call him Draco. That's the way.
He loves that, I'm
That's
sure.
the way I roll. He didn't have his blonde hair though. He had natural color hair, and I asked him to do a spell, and he would not. That fucker.
Seriously, fuck that shitty kid. Wow, I can't believe it.
Actually, I'm an actor. Fuck you. You're a wizard, and you're a bad one.
Somebody cast a douchebag spell on you.
Yeah, right. Actually, he was very nice.
He was really sweet, but to be fair, at the beginning of the interview, I think you did say your favorite Harry Potter film was The Prisoner of Ass Bandits.
Well, that's right. Because it is. In that movie, everyone's sprawling. It's awesome.
Honesty is important.
Yeah, no, it's very nice.
You remind me that my favorite tattoos I've ever seen. There were two tattoos that I literally could not wrap my brain around, and one of them I saw in a book, and it was a guy had Popeye tattooed on his stomach, but his dick was Popeye's dick. It was genius. And the proportions worked out the way you would think Popeye's dick would be. It was all squat and angry.
That's how I think Popeye's dick would be. Until the spinach.
Yeah, until the spinach. And then, of course, the battleship inside. Yeah.
But Bluto, very small dick. That's why he's so angry.
That's why he's so angry.
Big. He's like a eunuch.
Yeah.
What was the other tattoo in there?
The other tattoo was, and this is what I would call turning lemons into lemonade. This guy had a really ugly belly button, and so he tattooed a cat around it so it looked like the cat's asshole, and the cat was just kind of turning and looking at the viewer like, I see you've noticed my melting asshole. Like it was very fetching.
Man, that really is making lemonade out.
Kitty.
My favorite thing about Popeye is that every week he's just trying to save Olive Oyl from being raped.
Yeah.
I think that was everyone's favorite part. I think that was the concept.
That's not my favorite part.
Me neither. I'm with the guest.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's pretty cold out there in the Phantom Zone, huh, fuckers?
I never thought about that in Popeye. I thought, what, are you using an iPad as we're actually...
It's up here. I don't know.
You're the real deal, man. You're not fucking around with this. You're serious.
I am not fucking around.
Are you tweeting right now?
I'm not tweeting right now.
Oh, okay.
I've opened Dropbox. It's not important.
I seriously don't know what that is. What is that?
Dropbox is a really fantastic file syncing application, so, you don't have to...
Wait.
I'm boring myself!
Don't you now, Craig. It gets better.
No, it's good. It's good. I get it. I know what it is, really. I'm kidding.
Oh, you do?
No.
Okay. One of the reasons why I'm thrilled, I really have wanted you on the podcast for a long time, and I was so excited when I heard that you were coming to Adam Savage's podcast because
I'm a big fan of Adam.
Yes, he's awesome, that sounded sarcastic, but it was
did actually.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Whoa,
I get it.
Yeah.
No business safe. Okay. But you did this really amazing monologue on the anniversary of your sobriety, I think in 2006. And it blew me away because as somebody I've been doing stand-up now for almost 11 years, and I've been sober for 7,
right.
And I still haven't really found a way to make it funny, but you managed to go from, I woke up in I woke up in my own urine, and in the next minute you had people laughing, and that completely blew me away.
I was actually laughing when I woke up in my own urine.
What else
when
can
I
you
say
do?
I can't say 100% for sure it was my urine.
Right. Well, you don't know.
I woke up in urine.
Listen, I had those.
I presumed it was mine, but who's to say?
Listen, I had those
It
moments.
was in Germany.
No, it was not.
You're lucky it was only urine.
I didn't say it was only urine. Urine was...
Oh my God, it was Germany. You're lucky some guy didn't come in with your dick in a frying pan going, would you like breakfast? Like, you're so lucky. It could have gone way
I never
worse.
said that didn't happen.
All right, well, good.
All I'm saying is that I woke... Well, you see, the thing is about it for me is that that particular monologue that night was less about the anniversary of my sobriety and more about the fact that Britney Spears was clearly having some kind of bipolar episode. Mm-hmm. And everybody...
You mean as a life?
No, well, I think that clearly, obviously she kind of comes and goes a little bit. I don't know the woman at all, but she clearly was having some kind of mental breakdown, and it seemed to me the slightest bit inappropriate to, it was like we were talking earlier about the internet is that guy.
Right.
Well, it was like the media was that guy going, oh, look, you're having a mental breakdown. And I think, you know what? Shut the fuck up. She's going mad.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a little too much, so I thought I would, throw my tuppence in the other way.
It almost made me feel bad. Oh, that's that cute play money you guys have over
That's
there across the
right.
pond.
Yeah. Why I wouldn't give tuppence for your ideas about zombies, son.
Well, best go be sweeping the chimney.
With a child.
It's still legal. I can't breathe, sir.
That's right.
It'll be better once you shed all your lung tissue. Oh, that's a good lad.
You've taken it too far.
What?
You've taken it too far.
It was a fake kid.
No, it was a real kid. I was attached to that kid. That kid was like a zombie to me.
We'll be right back after these important messages. Yeah, that. And by the way, I feel bad because you made me. I mean, I do have a Britney Spears joke, and I was watching your thing, going.
No. I didn't want to say that there's no such thing as a Britney Spears joke, and I wasn't doing a manifesto for anyone else. I wasn't saying no, we shouldn't be laughing at her.
Right.
I just thought, if you do a show every night, I mean, and I quote when I first got the job, I was talking to Chris Rock, and I met him at this thing. And he said,
drop.
No, I don't know him. I just met him. I was introduced to him, and he said, "You're the guy that's taken over that show."
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah." And he's going to, and he said exactly this. He said, "You're going to do that every fucking night, every fucking night."
He likes to repeat stuff.
Yeah,
He does.
Like that. And then in my dreams, it was like I could hear him. It was like in a movie. He was going every fucking night, every fucking night. And what happens is if you do a show every fucking night.
Can we all do one as an audience
Yeah,
together?
you ready?
So you're gonna do a show
every fucking night. But what happens
Sorry.
is you have to end up doing shows which you think are you can live with yourself afterwards, as opposed to go, oh fuck it, it was a show, I'll fix it. You know, eh? I wanted to start. It was kind of a. It's about making the show your own and saying, no, I'm not going to do that. Even if everyone else is doing that, and even if that's the way to go, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and find out whatever this looks like on me. It's going to be different. And I feel more comfortable now doing that. It's kind of like, the movie Shawshank Redemption?
Yes.
Well, you know
I
what?
think TBS has it on a loop.
Right.
Yeah. Or
Frank
TNT.
Darabont, the guy who made that, is making The Walking Dead. I'm just saying.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, really? No, wait. But well, his philosophy must be out of whack because he's got to get busy living or get busy dying. But now, if he's making The Walking Dead, it's like get busy dying.
Oh, great.
No, same concept. Same concept. People surviving in a world full of zombies. On with your story. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Does that mean,
Oh, yeah, I get it. Oh, the man. Yeah, okay, we're very clever. Anyway,
does that mean it's going to be narrated by what's his
Morgan
name?
Freeman?
Morgan Freeman.
Everything's better narrated by Morgan Freeman.
And that night, I knew those zombies would have their revenge.
That's like
The sisters
gay
took a
midget
liking to
Morgan
the zombies.
Yeah, that's right. I've got the corner on gay midget Morgan Freeman. It's
That's
a
what it
niche
sounded
culture.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
I'm going to go climb in my mailbox now.
Andy Dufresne, a man swam through a river of shit to be free.
Oh my
Came
God.
out clean on the other side is the line.
Oh my God. You guys, we're sitting on $1 million here at Dwarfshank Redemption. We read.
Oh, fuck.
I'm sorry, I just have to go and make a phone call.
It would be the
Why are
tiniest
you
chess
sweating?
set.
We just get Peter Dinklage to play everyone.
Oh my God. He'd be amazing.
Actually, that would be the network said. I don't know if you've had to look at the breakdowns this year. But
Don't tell me you have a breakout hit.
yeah, I do. Dwarfshank Redemption.
We're looking at a prison show in the midget space.
Well, no, we could just remake Oz, and then it really. Yes, not hilarious, but very.
But it makes me, you know what? It makes me think that, when you're talking about these girls and the starlets, and it's so funny the way, I mean, the media goes out of their way to build them up and takes great pleasure in tearing them down.
Yeah.
And they, when a girl has a camera in her face at the age of 16 all the time and everyone's breaking down, of course she's going to go crazy. So why is the media always like, oh, I don't know how this happened?
Yeah, well, also the thing is as well to remember about, and I mean no disrespect to 16-year-old girls, but they're all fucking crazy.
Right.
60, I don't know if you remember high school. I suspect it was a trying time for some people here. but the 16-year-old girls are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And so you add all that showbiz stuff to it, well, of course you're going to get, kind of Nutsville like that. So Nutsville, by the way, is the name of another thing.
It's that new app on Facebook,
Yeah,
Nutsville.
Nutsville.
It's like Farmville, people. Jesus.
It's a social networking
angry.
site for balls, okay?
So
Jonah just planted
I'm
7 new
trying to wrap my
nutsacks.
mind around that. Sometimes I'll say stuff like that, and I'll go, "That could fly." No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I also, I wanted to talk for a little bit about comedy in Scotland. Now I would like to talk about balloons.
No, I think I can talk. I can talk about comedy in Scotland if the conversation, takes us up until I guess 1990-ish, 92, 93.
Well, I'm just because I was a little past that, but a few years after that, I did go to the Fringe Festival.
All right.
In Edinburgh, and it was amazing, and I saw some really amazing shows. But then I hadn't really seen a lot of Scottish people in their own environment. I could not understand not only the language but the references were like, oh, what is it? Where are the Flatlanders at? Oh, here's some salt for you, goat hugger. I'm like, what are the Flatlanders? Why do they need salt?
See, what you've run into there is a culture which is different from yours.
Well, I don't understand.
Punch him in the face, Chris! Punch that guy in the face!
Are you telling me that everyone from Scotland does not have a professional bowler for a father?
No, not at all.
Interesting. You have just broadened my worldview.
It's like you're one of the sprawling zombies now.
I bought a tape of it was actually a cassette tape of Billy Connolly, who I love.
That's the funniest man I think I've ever heard. When Billy Connolly was starting out in comedy, he was making these big wax cylinder type vinyl albums that your kids probably don't remember.
Watson, come in here. I need you.
Come on in. With the big and the dog and the big
in the ear, the dog with the ear.
But we would listen to them. We weren't allowed to listen to them. My parents wouldn't let me listen to that.
He wasn't super filthy, was he?
Well, he would mention things like ladies' undergarments and pooping, which
in the same breath.
It wasn't Germany, Chris. It was Scotland.
Billy Connolly.
Those German comedy records.
I heard this story secondhand from Norm Macdonald. Name drop. He said how Billy Connolly is really sweet, but he loves the Beverly Center. He'll say to Norm, Norm, have you been to the Beverly Center? It's brilliant. They have an international food court.
Yeah, it sounds like you really like that Beverly Center over there, huh? Yeah, you really. Sure. That Beverly Center right there. Yeah, you got it.
They got you can have any food you want.
Yeah, it sounds like they got a lot of food over there at that Beverly Center. They don't got any of them wiener dogs in there, do they?
Impressions you thought you'd never need. Man, that is a useless fucking skill you got right now. Yeah, like you can do Norm Macdonald.
You haven't heard my Kevin McDonald. Oh well, maybe I'll just throw it into my Kevin McDonald right now.
Whoa!
Oh my God!
20 years.
Did you? When did you start doing comedy? And did you start doing stand-up, or were you like a sketch improv guy? What was
No. I was a drummer in punk rock bands, but you can't get any of the girls to notice you if you're the drummer. So I wanted.
Or a comic.
Oh no! No.
Really?
You're playing the wrong places.
No,
so
as a drummer, you have to move all the equipment after the show. You don't get to talk.
Yeah.
Jonah's a drummer too, so you guys
right.
have a
So
lot
you know.
Yes.
That's
It's a
right.
horrible existence.
It is. So what I wanted to do, what happened was I was doing this. There was a punk rock festival in London. It must have been 1978, 79, and it was in this big art gallery, and it was there was a lot of different punk bands from Scotland and all over the country, and we were all there in this big posh art gallery, and all these Cockney punks were in the front row. And this is my first stand-up, and somebody said, "Hey, Craig, you're funny," and what they meant was I got drunk louder than everybody else. But they said, "Craig, you're funny. Go and say some funny stuff to start off this festival." So I walked out, and I thought, as many people do, I'll wear a comedy outfit and then, we'll see where we go from there. And so I walked out wearing a kilt and a sort of sparkly Liberace jacket. And I was so frightened that my knees were actually moving. You could see my knees moving. And all these Cockney punks started going, "His knees are fucking knocking." And then they started chanting, "His knees are knocking, his knees are knocking, his knees."
But what I only want to stop you for a second and just say that what you have to understand about comedy in the British Isles is that they love to fuck with you. I did the first time I did comedy there, had the same experience.
Yes,
any slight thing, and they'll be like, "Ah, cunt," which is charming over there for some reason.
Well, it's a very different word. You have to be careful with the C word in America. Obviously, it upsets a lot of people, and it's a very dangerous and controversial word. But in Scotland, the word cunt is actually kind of like, pal. Like, hey, you will. I mean, really, you would say about someone, he's a lovely big cunt, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or you go, you cheeky cunt, get out of here.
I love that Scottish cartoon, The Anna Cunts. It was really good. Animated cunts. And then I explained it at the end. They're animated cunts. I shortened it.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I interrupted you. So you go up and your knees are knocking, and then they're.
That was it. Yeah.
Oh, that was a good story. Okay, good.
But a little girl said cunt twice on Good Morning America today.
What?
Yeah, some little girl.
And now she has 18,000 Twitter followers.
Really?
I looked today. I don't know why.
That really happened?
What's up, a high school girl's
I
Twitter?
didn't look it up. Patton Oswalt tweeted something with her name in it, and I clicked on it, and then
because Patton tweeted it.
I didn't know who it was.
So then you obviously started doing stand-up then, or did you take a break? For a while?
I kept doing it because I couldn't stay in bands long. Any band I was in, I would either get kicked out or someone else would go to jail or something like that. I mean, keeping a group of people together, punk rock people, it doesn't really work very well.
Right.
So I ended up doing it, and it was a profession which was very forgiving of drunkenness and tardiness. I mean,
forgiving is a kind word. I would say maybe encouraging.
No, I don't think they actually encouraged it. I think that they just would. I was the only person that would do it. Like in Scotland, not a lot of people want to stand out from the crowd because you'll get killed. But I was too drunk to notice. I mean, really, I think I was too drunk to know what I was doing for the first couple of years, and then by that time I started making money, so I kept going.
Did you ever have? Because I know I had this. And as I am narcissistic, I'm going to make it about me for a sec. Did you kind of have that moment when you quit drinking where you're like, what if I'm not funny anymore? What if it was the booze?
I have that moment right there. I've had it again.
Right there, is that what it was like?
That every day it arrived. I probably have that thought more than I actually fart. I mean, yeah,
again, right there. That's right. Yeah, that was good.
No, I was fine there. I just farted.
Oh, that was the fart part? Yeah, that was good.
Get the oil paints.
Call back. That was a call back. You've all been a party to a call back. So at what point did you? Because I know you talked a little bit about this backstage when Adam was here, but you said you were really good friends with Peter Cook.
I was, yeah. Peter Cook was. I'd written a script. Peter Cook, who I loved more than any other of that particular.
If you're an American, you don't know Peter Cook is a brilliant British comedian. A lot of American people know him as the pontiff from Princess Bride. The marriage is a beautiful thing. Peter Cook was
that's probably
amazing.
the least interesting thing he ever did. But he was
with Dudley Moore, the clean tapes.
Yeah, no, he was fantastic. Very, very funny. I mean, a very, very wild mind. I wrote a script because for Channel 4 in Britain, which is kind of like, I don't know, this.
Oh, thank you?
No,
Channel 4 is...
That's good. It's the experimental they do.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I wrote this script and I thought I'll send it to Peter Cook to see if he'll be in it. And he followed comedy. This is before the internet. He was just aware of young comedians, and he agreed to play my father in this thing. He was a notorious drunk, Peter. He had this house up in Hampstead. So I went to meet him for the first time. I got the call from his agent. You have to go and meet Mr. Cook. And I went up to his house in Hampstead and rang the doorbell. And he came out. This was a Monday morning, about 11 o'clock. And he came on the intercom and he said, "Who is it?" And I said, "It's Craig Ferguson, Peter. I've come to talk to you about the show." And he went, "Oh, yes. Come on in. Breakfast is in the fridge." And I went inside. The door clicked open. I went inside, and it was a big, tall house. And I didn't know what to do. And he was right up at the top of these things. The kitchen was right inside the front door. And I looked up. He was wearing a toweling robe. The first part I saw of him was his cock. And I was like, "Good morning." And he went, "Good morning." And I said, "Right." He said, "Breakfast is in the fridge." And I went to the fridge, and I opened the fridge door, and there were only 2 cans of hard cider. Sort of a real alcoholic beverage called Strongbow. It's right. It's kind of a street drunk beverage. It's a real. And so there were 2 cans of that, and so I shouted up to Peter, I can only see 2 cans of cider, and he said,
I repeat, breakfast is in the fridge.
And he came downstairs and we drank it was the first time I'd get drunk in the morning. Look, if you're an alcoholic, there's nothing better.
It really takes the edge off the previous.
See that sweating all day, worrying about when am I going to start drinking? It removes all that.
Yeah, it does.
You just get stuck right away.
Well, because a lot of people think that the reason that you get hungover is because you're dehydrated, and it's not. The reason is you're flooding with your body with so many toxins that it's an immediate withdrawal when you stop. And so when you have that eye opener, you're immediately sating that sort of, that.
Whatever you say, college, all I knew is it made me feel very, very pleasant.
I'm gonna bore the drunkenness right out of you. So how long? So you guys became pretty good friends.
We became reasonably good friends. I mean, he was a comedy giant, and I was this whippet at his heels. But he was very, very nice to me, and sadly, he kind of passed on from alcoholism a couple of years later. But he was a very, very nice man, and such an odd. Kind of surrealist, he was very, very. It was a surprise to me. Up until that point, I had loathed the English establishment, the Oxford and Cambridge establishment. I had been brought up to believe that these people were the enemy, and he was certainly of that, and extremely seditious in his thought. He told me about a time very early in his career because he hated the royal family. And he got this call from when he was getting very famous as with Dudley Moore, and not only, but also he got a call one day. He told me the story. He said, "I got a call one day from the phone rang, and I heard this voice saying, 'This is the equerry of His Royal Highness Prince Charles.'" And he went, "Oh yes." And he said, "Yes, but His Royal Highness is a great fan of your work. He's wondering if you were free for dinner on the 17th." He said, "The 17th of March or the 17th of April?" He said, "The 17th of March." He said, "So what I did, Craig, is I got the telephone directory and I flipped it next to the phone to make it sound like I was looking through my diary. And I said, the 17th of March. I find I'm watching television that evening." I mean, that's fucking balls.
That's ballsy.
I mean, and I always kind of thought Peter had that fearlessness. I mean, he had many other demons that came after him, but he was fearless in the face of pomposity and undeserved recognition. And I kind of. If I have anything that I would try and aspire to in my life, it is to be like that. To say, okay, I don't care how powerful you are. I'm going to have a go.
Yeah.
It eventually, of course, will destroy me. But I'll get a few laughs on the way, I think.
Well, I want to continue on that thought for a second, but we have to pause for a quick sponsorship break. I'd like to invite out our good friend, Nerdist Podcast friend, Mr. Sam Levine is here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're introducing some sponsorships on the podcast.
Chris.
Yes.
Chris, we talked about this. Sorcerer, Sam Levine. One more time.
Wow. He's got the scepter there.
I'll do some sound effects for you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Sorcerer Sam Levine.
Audible.com is the interweb's leading provider of spoken audio entertainment, information, and educational programming.
Oh.
If someone had the power to say, charm a book into the gift of speech, this is exactly what it would sound like. You'll find yourself effortlessly breezing through over 75,000 titles to choose from, like you're some sort of kind of dark wizard controlling the elements with your mouse-shaped wand. What's that? You say there's a book you cannot find? Well, you are a filthy orc and liar!
Wow.
Will yourself over to www.audiblepodcast.com/Nerdist. Post haste! If you sign up for a free trial, your computing device shall be imbued with a free audiobook. Might I recommend some of my favorites, such as Belgarth the Sorcerer by David Eddings, or perhaps even The Sorcerer of the North, Ranger's Apprentice, Book 5 by John Flanagan.
Do you have a book that is not a sorcerer in the title?
I wrote some other ones. How about Shadowmancer?
That's
by
way
G.P.
weirder.
Taylor.
That is way weirder.
Magical Note and Magic, spelled with a K here.
Okay.
This bestowance only valid in the realms of the United States and the Maple Dwellers of Canada.
Sam, no one said you had to dress like a sorcerer. I mean, just FY information.
Mm-hmm. You think this is pretend, huh, Hardwick? Pretend. Well, you've made yourself an enemy here today. Next time you slumber, I shall find you in your dreams and shit on your soul! I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to invade your dreams, but the logistics are a little confused. I have a spreadsheet in my car that would help clear things up, but I forgot to bring it in. Sam Levine, the Sorcerer!
Oh! Sam Levine, everyone! Star of Inglourious Bastards and Freaks and Geeks.
See, it was funny, and we got to learn about an interesting new product.
That's right, and I'm sure Audible won't have a problem at all with all the soul-shitting talk that surfaced.
They know what they signed up for. They signed up, right?
I don't think they know what they signed up for.
Can I just... that was a real thing?
Yeah, yes, that was a real human.
See, you have sponsors like Coca-Cola.
No, I have sponsors like Viagra and what's that one that makes you go to-
Viagra.
Yeah,
Adorable.
yeah.
Adorable.
Yeah, it is. It's either boner pills or sleep meds. That's what's on my show. Or what's the other show?
Only if they could combine those two pills. I could sleep.
Hey! Heroin, Junior. Heroin.
He's young. He doesn't know. He's young.
What's wrong with you kids?
Hipsters don't know from heroin. They like absinthe. They don't know. Yeah, I thought I would try a sponsorship on the show so I could start paying these nerds over here or something. They've been working for free for 21 episodes so
22.
far. All right, well, that was shitty of you.
There's one in the can. You're not
Yeah.
One in the can. Awesome. You should write on my show. I'm serious, really. Yeah.
See you fuckers later.
No, we're a package deal. We're a package deal.
Matt, don't shit on us until you sign something. Trust me.
Okay.
Too late.
Fuck it.
You're fired.
I still got a job here, right, Chris?
Not so much. I could never stay mad at that cherubic face.
Wow, this is like a play.
I tried to grab his cheek.
He can't.
It's too hard. Oh, there it is. That was for us.
Let's move on.
No, I want to see you guys wiggle out of this one.
His knees are knocking. His knees are knocking.
Your join or die tattoo.
Yeah.
Did you get that after you gained citizenship?
Yeah, I wanted to have something on me which was as painful as the exam.
What is the citizenship exam like?
It's actually pretty easy. It's like, do you like gum? Yes. Do you hate Al Qaeda? Yes. You're in.
Wow.
1 out of 2 ain't bad. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your show for a sec, because what's amazing to me and the thing, like when you first took over the show, of course I knew you from the Drew Carey show.
Right.
By the way, that must have been a fun show. Drew's a sweet guy.
Sure, it was
amazing.
fine. Yeah, it was all right. Nah, it was fine. It was fine. It was a lot of fun.
So how did you go from the Drew Carey show to getting, because like network shows are usually like, we're gonna try to hire the biggest star we can find. Like what?
Yeah, and I was the biggest one they could get.
All right, well that was fair enough.
No, what happened was that very famously Craig Kilborn left the Late Late Show to pursue movie and TV projects.
Well, now Kilby's coming back, according to the TV commercials.
Yeah, and well, I never even said anything. You projected onto me your own fucking bitterness.
That was in their minds.
That's not my
That was in
bitterness.
their
I'm
minds.
cool. Everything's fine. It's
To be,
good.
to be fair, you did put fucking in front of bitterness, but it's fine. That was their
Hey,
thing.
if you don't put fucking bitterness, then you don't mean it properly, is what. But no, I was doing the Drew Carey show, and then it went away. You know, I lost the job. I was, what do you kids call it? Fired.
Fired.
Yeah, I wasn't fired, but the show ended, and I didn't have anything else to do. And then I was doing this independent movie in Canada, in Winnipeg. You know, and that's pretty rough.
Yeah, Winnipeg.
Well, Winnipeg gets really cold and you can't go out, and that was the time. That was a pretty low point in sobriety. That was when I was in the hotel room on my own for about a month. I shaved my entire body, so I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And I just looked like a giant baby. I would scare myself in the mirror.
Let's see, hey man, when you can fucking scare yourself as a giant baby, that's how you know you're alive.
That's right, living the dream. But then I got this call that they were trying out all these different people for the Late Late Show.
We're looking for a giant hairless baby.
Yeah. I was like, this is the one. I'll be able to stand out. I'll be the big Scottish baby. And they tried out a lot of people and then eventually gave me the job. And I'm very grateful for it. I mean, actually, when I started out at the very beginning, I thought it would be kind of a lark, and I met Peter Lasalle and Michael Nadis, who Peter is the executive producer of the show, and Michael produces it, and they run things. And Michael introduced me to Peter, who had worked forever in television and is a legend, and was the producer of the Tonight Show, and with Johnny Carson, who did not so badly at it, and. I don't know how it's doing now.
Peter was in the Late Shift. Peter was in the Late Shift.
Right. Actually, early on in the show, the actor that played Peter in the Late Shift, we would get in sketches to play Peter in sketches.
Oh, that's genius.
Yeah, it was great. Unfortunately, it was the first year of the show. None of you fuckers was watching, so you never saw it. But we used to do that. But Peter said to me, I said to when I met him, I said, thanks for letting me do this. This is before I went on the show. I said, thanks for letting me do this. This should be a lark. And he said, no, this is not a lark. I want you to take this seriously. He said, I have one discernible skill. He said, it's finding people like you. And if I'm right, you are lightning in a bottle, and this is the thing you should be doing. And I thought, you're out of your fucking mind. And then I was on the stage for about, when you walk out and the paid audience, pretends to be happy to see you, and you feel a little bit like Johnny Carson for a minute. I thought, fuck, he's right. I am made for this. I love this. And I kind of have been in love with it ever since. I do love doing it. I don't love every second of every show, but nearly all of it, all the time.
What sort of drove you? Because a lot of, I feel like part of the problem with some of the late night shows is that they're some of them feel a little soulless. And I'm not gonna say which one, but
Carson Daly. I know Carson Daly.
Very good.
I got a gold ear when it comes to impression.
welcome to TRL. It's the TRL.
Spot on.
Liquid Life.
Spot on.
Very good.
It's getting hot in here to take off all your clothes. So there's this kind of a soulless disconnect, and it's like, you say this, and then this person says this, and you say this, and this person says this. And I feel like, as a society, we're evolved enough to, like, in the 70s or the 60s or 50s, I'm sure that dazzled people. They're having a conversation.
Yeah.
But we know enough about how stuff works now that we know that it's not really a conversation. But you kind of broke that and clearly said, I'm just going to talk to people.
I don't know if I quite agree with that. I think that the format existed. The format that I do existed for a long time. I think it existed in radio. I think Jack Parr was doing it on the Tonight Show. I think it existed in the 50s and the early 60s. I don't think it was television. I think it was the publicists of the stars that were going on the show were so protective of the people. This is before TMZ, when you could have a fucking secret, but you can't have any secrets anymore.
Right.
But they had to keep.
Yeah,
all these,
Harvey and that sippy couple get you.
Yeah,
you can't hide.
What they did was they started building these protected conversations. I actually think it probably came from the publicists more than the actual hosts of the show. But it became the standard thing to do. And when I realized I was doing it every fucking night, was that I realized I couldn't do this every night. I couldn't do it. I would I would quit. I would do something stupid. I would do something self-destructive in order to be fired. And And I started doing that, and it began to become popular. I began to do self-destructive things like tearing up the notes and talking to the people outside of what they had asked me to talk about, and they responded like I was really talking to them. And what happened was, I realized as I got further into it, to get back to the Shawshank Redemption thing that we went off of, that, you know that thing, thanks a lot,
He's right, we went off it.
See, we're going off it again, go back. So, well, you know that at the end of the movie, when the parole board, every time they go to Morgan Freeman, he has to give some reason as to why he should be paroled, and he always gives.
Do you think you're rehabilitated?
Right, exactly, and he makes up some stuff. And then the last
That's
one,
a
he
bullshit
said,
world.
Yeah, and then he just says, "Fuck you, I don't care." He says to the parole board, "Fuck you, let me go, don't let me go. I don't fucking care. Fuck you." But then, when he finally stops trying, it works. And really, I think, for me in the show, that's what it became about. It's like I stopped trying to do it their way. I stopped trying to do it their way, which began a certain run of freedom, which is difficult to hold on to, because people get, and I'm not talking about just the executives or the guests or the publicists or anyone else, but even viewers of the show, loyal viewers of the show, they want things to stay the same, and I can't do that. And they get a little cross at me sometimes. They get angry at me, like, "Why can't you have the soundboard machine or the puppets or the thing?" And I go, "Because I fucking moved on." And even although that upsets you, I have to, because if I'm not happy doing the show, I'm not going to fucking do it.
But they'll get used to
that's it.
But they'll get used to the new thing, though.
Right, exactly. And even although I want people to like it, and I do want them to, I want to be liked. I'm a performer. I want your approval.
Right.
But I won't do it at the expense of my fucking sanity. I won't. You won't fucking see me on Celebrity Rehab. You won't fucking see me. I will not play the fucking game. I won't.
Especially
every fucking night. Every fucking night. You can't.
You can't.
Every fucking night. You can't. I won't play. And sometimes it makes me mad. I wish I could. I wish I could do it sometimes. I really wish I could fucking be okay with it, and it would be easier. But fuck it. Because I want to be able to look back at it at some point and go, yeah, that fucking worked. Rather and to think of it the way, when Peter with the Peter Cook with the equerry for Prince Charles, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the way I want it to be. So as soon as I find myself too comfortable in what the show is doing, we're changing.
Well, how do you keep that fresh? Because if you're constantly
Coffee.
if you're constantly on the move, like, do you ever just kind of get to a point where you're like, I am out of change energy, or?
Well, no, you don't change it just to change it. You just genuinely move on when it's time to genuinely move on. You don't say, I got to change it because I've been doing it too long, because that's playing the fucking game too.
Okay.
So what I feel I have to do is do it until I'm done and move on. And I don't know when that's going to be. There's a transition going on at the show right now. I'm not sure what it is. It's something to do with me wearing sneakers. And I know that sounds like nothing, but it's not nothing. I mean, one of the biggest things that happened in the show for me is that I stopped buttoning my jacket. And I started to feel more comfortable. And tiny little things like that accumulate. It's very, very strange. It's a very odd thing to do.
Like that, or a robot sidekick.
I like a robot sidekick. I think it's metaphorically, it tells you what I think about the state of the late night genre. It's a sprawling zombie standing next to me. It's a robot that will do whatever the fuck I want it to do.
And
I
that
think,
robot's not
it's
gonna...
like a metaphor, Craig. And I go, yes.
And the worst thing that robot's gonna do if he gets self-aware is try to get his own development deal. Like,
Right,
he's not
exactly.
gonna try to take over the world.
Actually, I found him looking through the breakdowns of the studio there.
That robot wants to live his life out loud.
Yeah.
Let's get wasted.
That's fantastic. So where do you see the show going next? Like, do you know, or is it just sort of spontaneous? You're just going to show up and go like, today I feel like doing this, so I'm going to do it, or is any of it planned?
I'd like to have some money. No, I don't mean money for me, although that would be nice. But I mean, I'd like to have some money to. There's been a lot of stuff I'd love to have done in the show, and we just can't afford it. There are filmed pieces that the other guys get to do. There are little movies, little kind of videos, little things that would be a lot of fun to do. But we seriously have no fucking money. I mean, the whole puppet thing that was huge in the show, we spent maybe $100 on puppets. This is a fucking network television show we're talking. We didn't even buy the puppets. I think I used one puppet, and the puppet company went, fucking hell, oh, great. And they sent all the puppets they had to us. And said, please use this. Look, we've got a hippo. He can dance. And
when you took the job, were you like, network? Why, maybe we'll do some shows from the jet.
No.
Can we have puppets?
No, you can't. You can have puppets if they're cheap.
Yeah.
But I mean, and that's. I'd love to be able to do some different things, but we just don't have the resources to do that right now. So that's okay. Then we'll do it another way. I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful for the show. I'm not. I love it, and I love the fact that I have.
It just sounds like you care about your work, which is good.
I do. I want it to be entertaining. I want it to be good, and I want to be proud of it. That's that. And other than that, I'm very easy to get along with.
And so obviously, now you're doing stand-up dates, and what did that? Just as someone who hasn't gotten to the place yet, where like, I'm gonna do a 3,500 seat theater, and I'm sure there'll be more than 50 people there. So what did that transition feel like? Did it kind of happen all at once, or was it like 500 people and then 1,000 people and then 1,800?
Yes, I mean, and actually less than 500. When I started going back to doing stand-up, and I hadn't done it all the time I was on the Drew Carey show, that I started out at Tommy T's Steakhouse and Comedy Club in Pleasanton, California.
All those words together are a bunch of win there. Pleasanton, steak, Tommy T's.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was going right back to playing the clubs again, and I did them for a year, 18 months. I played the clubs, and then we got a little bit bigger venues and a little bit bigger, and as the show became a little more popular, the venues got a little, I didn't have to play such small places, or I could play bigger places and hope to fill them, or at least get a respectable crowd. And what it does do, the most interesting thing out of all of this, for me, it was observing how the world changed in the sense of people that would come to the show. Everyone who comes to the show, initially the people who came to the show were people who only watched broadcast television. So that it was really predominantly the audience was women who were over the age of 35. That was really all that was coming out. And what I think they understood right away from the show is that I didn't hate them. And that I wasn't going to patronize people who weren't 18 to 24-year-old boys. And that, I think, was such a fucking surprise to that group of people that they came out to see me. And as the show got more popular, the demographic of the audiences changed in the sense that it broke down into different areas. And now, like I was in Vegas 2 weeks ago, I'd say maybe, I can't take an exact count, but I would say 50% of the audience is under 40 years old. And the people who are under 40 and the people who are under 30 years old, none of these people have seen a full show. None of them.
Really?
They haven't seen a full show. They see a YouTube clip or an internet clip, and they pick and choose when they want to watch it.
You're very popular on the YouTubes, Craig.
Well, it's interesting to me. It's not. I don't know how long this thing will last, where people sit down with a suit and tie on and watch a full hour of TV, including commercials. I think what happens is they watch whatever. Like, if you want to see, look, if I'm interviewing Susan Boyle, which I've never had the pleasure, but imagine I'm interviewing Susan Boyle or I'm interviewing Draco Malfoy, right?
Boy, can I just say, and I talked about this on Web Soup, I always get Susan Boyle and actor Colm Meaney mixed up.
Yeah.
The two of them.
I think.
I get them
although I disapprove, I understand.
He's got a great voice, though.
He is amazing.
No.
Colm Meaney?
No, he can't sing at all. I know.
Really?
I know Colm Meaney.
You do?
Yeah. He's got a terrible singing voice.
Susan Boyle was really good on D Space Nine, right? That's what it was.
Yeah. No. She knows nothing of
Con Air. She was good in that.
She was great in Con Air. Yeah, Susan Boyle.
That was
I actually don't know
Corvette.
Colm Meaney. I don't know why I said that.
That That was weird. That was one of those weird plausible lies.
Yeah.
Where, like, you don't
I
really
just realised I said that, and it's plausible that I would know Colm Meaney, but I don't.
you-
It's like on Mythbusters, does he know Colm Meaney? Let's check.
You totally.
We gotta do a scale model first of you and Colm Meaney,
Yeah.
and then they move on to the bigger
Oh, that's right.
before they go full size.
Or if it was the first season, you could have that woman that used to be on it say, "Oh yes, there was a time when the ancient Egyptians
Do you see?
said Colm Meaney and Craig Ferguson knew each other at the time of the Pharaoh."
There is a newspaper.
You totally remind me that a friend of mine, my roommate, one of my roommates in college, did that. He would do these plausible lies, and he would prank call people, but there was no like. It wasn't like he was prank calling bowling centers going, "Do you have 16-pound balls? How do you keep your pants up?" Click. It was more like, I worked in a bowling center. It was more, he would call people.
You should write for my show.
Here's the one joke. I don't think we can play this every fucking night. Yeah. But he would literally just call people like at random, just dial a number, and they'd answer, and he'd go, "Hey, it's me." And they would just assign whoever they thought he was.
Yeah.
And he would just kind of give little bits of information. He would start off going, yeah, oh yeah. And then he would start to get more and more, almost to challenge himself to see how tangled in their lives he could get. And it was really, really fucked up.
Yeah, that's actually a pathology, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. That's kind of like, what the fuck? What are you doing that for?
One time I saw him in the bathroom and he shaved his body naked. Do you know anyone like that? All right.
Saturdays, Chris.
Man, this was meant to be my night off, and he fucking ambushes me. Yeah, man.
Tell me
Et
about
tu, nerdist.
Someone make that shirt.
Do you know David Tennant?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I like the new guy. I've got to say, I like
Matt Smith?
Matt Smith. I think he's very,
Matt Smith
very
is
good.
doing a
Very good,
wonderful
yeah.
job.
Yeah.
I was so broken inside when Tennant's character, when he regenerated.
Listen, it's a fucking fact, man. He's a Time Lord. He regenerates. Just fucking deal with it, okay? It's going to fucking happen. Yeah, all these people on there, yeah, this one's the best of all. Well, shut up. He's a fucking Time Lord. He's going to regenerate.
Yeah. Let's make bumper stickers that say, "Don't get attached to a Time Lord."
Exactly. He's still the Doctor.
He is.
I've decided that James Bond is a Time Lord.
What?
That explains how they see? Thank you. James Bond is a Time Lord working for the British government, and he regenerates. That's why he goes
You're blowing
to
my fucking
Sean
mind right now.
George Lazenby, Pierce Brosnan.
Actually awesome.
George
telling
Lazenby
you.
gets shot. Boom. Sean Connery.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, I'd better put on a different outfit now.
That's right.
Oh.
I am the last of my kind.
And that's why.
I reached your people there.
That
didn't I?
In Diamonds Are Forever, that's why Sean Connery comes back. He's just in a different time. He's just in the 70s.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
dude, it was good. It was great. That's enough. Let it go, man. It's a great thing. All right. Yeah. You heard yes. Leave the room.
Did I ever talk about my Flintstones Jetson theory on this?
Go ahead, no.
Yeah, that's a great theory.
Excuse me. Weren't we talking about Doctor Who?
Well, technically, these two shows take place at different times. My theory is that the Flintstones actually predates that's actually how it's presented. My theory is that
I think that the Flintstones are cavemen.
Why are you taking it too far?
My theory is that they're just like the honeymooners. Deal with it. My theory is that the Jetsons predates the Flintstones.
Yeah, it's
and that
awesome.
there was some sort of weird robotic takeover, and that everyone got sent back to the Stone Age.
It was the Cogswell Cogs Spacely Sprocket War.
No, there was a Sprocket War, and the robots. Oh, I'm getting nerd excitement. The robots.
You genuinely are. You know what's weird? It's been a long time, but I feel myself itching just to beat the shit out of you right now.
Oh, coming from the guy that was just.
I don't know why. I just want to hurt you.
I want to hurt you, dude, and keep on talking about Doctor Who.
Just like.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
No, I'm a pussy. You're right. I'm a pussy. As long as I have you, bag full of 2,600 cartridges. Oh, Pitfall. It's just you and me tonight. But my theory is that the robots cloned the dinosaurs to kill mankind, but man prevailed, and so that's why man and dinosaur and that's why there are these smart dinosaurs that complain about their fucking jobs in the Flintstones, because of the Jetsons war.
I don't remember the dinosaurs complaining about the jobs. I remember a toucan that could be used as a record player, but he didn't complain about it. He just did it. He just went on with it.
But the mini-man with vacuum cleaner, you think you've got problems. Just shut up and vacuum, all right? You're lucky you're allowed in the house.
Yeah, even Dino can't stay in the house.
Yeah.
Dino gets booted out at the night.
Because he doesn't work. He just fucking mooches off Fred and then locks him out of the fucking his house that Fred slaves for.
His house?
His house, yeah.
Was that a line from Viva Rock Vegas?
No, that was from the Flintstones, bitch. All right, we've gone off the rails here a bit. You're a Who fan from way back in the day, though.
I love Doctor Who, yeah, I do. I didn't watch it for 35 years, and then I started watching it again recently, and it's still pretty much the same. And
it's not the same. It used to look like Black Box Theater, and then a guy in a rubber mask.
No,
would come
man,
out.
it was when I was a kid. It scared the shit out of me. I mean, it was just terrifying. The Daleks, because I lived in a house with no stairs. Now you imagine Daleks coming in with no stairs.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are you gonna go when the Daleks come to your house and there are no stairs?
Well, now they hover. Like now they have
imagine
propulsion.
living in Holland and Daleks showed up?
They're gonna run to the top of that windmill.
Yeah, exactly. No, they can't. Daleks are just their little.
But now they have a propulsion. Now they have a propulsion system.
Back then they didn't. They were just,
You Daleks were inferior, old man.
Why you kids back then are Daleks?
The Daleks needed everything handicap accessible. That's what they needed. They had strict
Handicap ramps. I am supposed to be able to park in front of this building.
You know the Daleks were based.
What?
The Daleks, that voice and the whole look of the Daleks, it was about the Nazis.
Really?
Yeah, it was like 20 years after the war in Britain. The people who were developing Doctor Who and working on it at that time had been kids during the Blitz in London, and the big, the scary monster, obviously to them, was the Nazis. So they had this weird kind of voice that was almost German.
Oh my God! That's all it was.
They would talk like this, and then there was the black Dalek costumes like the SS. And it was like really, I mean, it's really about the SS and about.
That was really good.
I can roll with you guys. I got it.
Doctor Who, what I love about the early stuff is how sprawling it is, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, let's see it. Let me see if this works. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I really don't know yet. You don't even know what it is.
I think you said, oh yeah.
It's tree penises.
It's what? Yes, I put a treenus on my site today. I think this app might take too long to load up because you have the perfect Dalek voice, but I
have a better one,
which
I'm going to shame you with.
No, I'm not at all. I just have to use. Here we go.
Right.
Exterminate Craig Ferguson. Exterminate.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. This will almost be worth it.
Jeez.
Exterminate. Exterminate Craig Ferguson. Exterminate.
Yeah, that was really nice. Didn't really pay off the way.
Well, there goes this show.
Yeah. It's going pretty well for a while, though. It went pretty well for a while.
Would you be at all interested in taking over as host?
You bet I would.
Oh my God, a coup!
That's right. Off you go, Imelda. You're done here.
Take your shoes.
Take your shoes and fuck off, bitch.
Hey. Boy, can you imagine what she'd be like now with Zappos.com?
Oh, she has so many shoes.
They should be a sponsor. I just promoted their fucking site. I had coffee with you at the farmers market.
Oh yeah.
And obviously people come up to you and you're very gracious to your fans. Very gracious to your fans.
Well, what am I going to be an asshole to them?
I've seen people kind of brush people
Well,
up.
they're assholes to do that. That's ridiculous.
But because you're a nice guy, you think that. But I found
Because you're a nice guy, you think that. That's why.
you essentially just repeated my sentence, Matthew.
I laughed at it. It was enjoyable.
You want to write for my show? Because you seem to have the trick.
I actually, because you're so gracious to your fans, I found online this kid wrote a letter who's your biggest fan.
Oh, yeah?
And so I wanted to read the letter here. Dear Mr. Ferguson, this is adorable. Hi, I like you. Do you like me? I mean, not in that way. But whatever. Your show is cool, and you two are cool. Your chattings with famous people is the best on television. My friend Carrie thinks you're hot, too. She likes you wear business clothes but have tattoos underneath. like a biker who manages an Applebee's by day, he says.
Et tu,
By day.
noticed
Like,
et tu.
why does it have to be by day?
Yeah, I don't
Why does it have to be
know.
by- oh, the day manager wears
Yeah,
the
yeah.
suits. I'm just glad you don't wear those little skirts like the other Scotland people, he writes. Anyway, I'm not sure that's not disrespectful at all. I hope to get to meet you someday to watch you while I'm messing around in my garage and blowing stuff up. I'm seriously, I know what that means. I'm seriously your number one fan, and it would mean everything in the world to me if I got to meet you in person. Your pal, hopefully, Adam. Well, I wanted to tell you, we brought your number one fan here because I thought it would be a really cool moment in the show.
fabulous.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Craig's number one fan, little Adam is here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, it's Adam Savage for the people listening to the podcast at home.
Oh, man! Oh, what an adorable kid. They're lovely to see. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm very excited.
First of all, Adam Savage, your grammar and syntax are terrible.
I'm sorry, I still haven't learned your, and there, and there.
Oh, that fucking sends me into a rage. You need to learn your possessives are not your... and the contractions. It makes me so mad.
You know how to work drop boxes, but you can't fucking read the English language? What the hell is wrong with you?
No, people make me mad when they substitute Y-O-U-R when they mean the contraction you are, and they write...
See, I want to beat you up again now. Is this fucking...
This is why it happened.
I always go for the, just to be safe, if I'm typing really fast, I go for the Sonic Youth YR for all of them. I just
Yeah.
go your for all of
I'll
them.
come after you too, motherfucker. I will.
Come on, it's a musical band.
Jonah will text you, and he's like, hey, you want me to come to your office, Y-E-R? And I'm like, some delightful tween wants to come to my office.
That's not like a new speak. That's just that's me, man.
Keeping it...
Adam Savage is here, dude.
I know. Adam, you were here on the, your natural hosting instincts are quite
that's right.
strong.
Shoot the money, idiot. Shoot the money.
I want you to know that while I was waiting backstage, I actually, no joke, now own the domain Dwarfshank Redemption. I'm offering dwarfshank.com email addresses for everybody.
You get a car. You get a car.
We're moving into a new era.
It's hard
Tiny little steps.
It's hard to remember when there wasn't a dwarf shank when you think about it.
Yes.
Take that, Twitter.
So Adam, you did stand up for the first time on this podcast, and you had a better set than I did, and I was very proud of you because it was your first time.
I realized actually that every other time I do stand up, I'd like you guys sitting behind me laughing hysterically because I actually think that helped a lot.
What? You crushed it. Have you been doing stand up since?
I did a night in Vegas for my friend Emily Gillette and her comedy troupe, the Executive Monkeys. And then, we just had 4 really excellent Woodstock shows in Seattle, Portland, Chicago, and Minneapolis, and I did a bunch of stuff there as well.
Oh yeah, you guys had Neil Gaiman on one of those shows,
We
right?
did. We had Neil Gaiman just the other night in Minneapolis, and I finished my set by singing "I Will Survive" in the voice of Gollum.
That's class.
Well,
that is fucking entertainment, Junior, right there.
It is.
You get that on the show, you might have something.
well, he's already taken the idea. I can't do it now.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I don't mean to get a little James Lipton on you, but Adam, I would like to speak to singing Gollum right now, if possible.
Is he in there?
All right, get your Gollum juice. Good boy.
Here, hold on before you start.
Craig puts ring in Adam's hand.
Precious. Thank you. I will survive. I will survive.
Man, that's beautiful.
Come on down to Mordor Manny's karaoke bar. That's where that would be sung.
Oh,
That's fantastic.
We have truly
Do you want to
earned
write
the
for my
name.
show? Do you want to write?
How have the Woodstock shows been going? You guys are crushing it on the road now.
Fantastic. The audiences are like crazy warm. The Riff Tracks guys were out. We were having so much fun. It's just been like.
What is Woodstock? I don't really understand.
It's we call it 3 hours of geeks and music.
Right.
Started by Will Wheaton.
My old roommate, Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton and I.
Crusher from
Yep.
Next Generation. And
People
Paul and
always
Storm.
come up to me when I'm on Star Trek and they're like, I wish Wesley Crusher would die. And I'm like, fuck you, you piece of shit. Well, I say that on the inside, but not to them.
I actually sat next to him at the autograph table when someone walked up and said, I fucking hated you.
They're horrible to
They're
him.
really terrible to him.
Sorry.
They also seem to search the internet for the douchiest picture of poor Will Wheaton at like 15 at the most awkward possible stage, and they ask him to sign it.
Yeah, when he had those little pointy sideburns that were a Federation regulation. Gotta shave him at a point. I'm not pooping on Star Trek. I love Star Trek.
Don't you poop on Star Trek. No, you be very fucking careful.
I've got episodes of the original remastered series on my phone.
All right, well, I'll just beat you up for a different reason. God damn it.
You're very precise about like what you want to beat up nerds for. It's like
wait,
Let's talk about Doctor Who.
I don't want to beat up nerds. I don't. And in fact, I, of course, can't really beat up nerds, but I know that nerds have such low self-esteem that they think I can. And that's what I'm working with here.
You're
He's
right.
tall,
We got
he's
really
Scottish. I've assessed the threat. It's too high. Bail out. Bail out.
It's a bluffing game.
Yeah.
I would poo my pants and run away.
That's delightful.
Speaking of being a nerd, in the middle of my last set in Minneapolis, absolutely in the middle, I got a nosebleed on stage.
That is beautiful.
Totally did.
In the middle of breathing through your
I
inhaler?
can sometimes make it go away or just like kind of ride it out. But this one was a full-on. It was about to pour out. I had to admit it. Asked for tissues. Molly Lewis, the ukulele.
Oh,
genius,
amazing.
came out,
Molly's great. Yeah.
Gave me a box of tissues, and I did the rest of my set with big tissue sticking out of my nose.
I saw Belushi do that.
Once.
What the hell?
If we can't laugh at the OD'd, who can we laugh
Come
at?
on. It was a joke. Shut up. He would have left.
Did you think, were people in the audience like, I wonder where this bit is going?
It actually was one of those things where I was thinking, oh, maybe I can make this go away. I can't make this go away. I'm going to have to admit it. I wonder how this is going to go. And the whole crowd sort of just like came a little bit closer. It was like this wonderful, we all had shared this geek moment.
No.
They were coming
It wasn't
closer
that.
with
They
blood?
smelled blood.
Yes.
They were like sprawling zombies.
His knees are knocking and his nose is bleeding.
Exactly. Cockney sprawling punk zombies.
I found them sucking on the tissue later.
It was so.
Oh, that crosses the line.
Yeah, for some reason.
That's actually not the nerdiest thing. Like, had I seen that, that's the nerdiest thing I've ever seen was last year at Comic-Con. Already a good story. Last year at Comic-Con, I saw a dude dressed exactly like Wolverine, like walking around strutting claws and everything, and then he stopped and took a hit from his inhaler. I'm like, aww. Can't regenerate those lungs, can you? Can't regenerate those lungs, Wolverine.
That's a beautiful thing. I love that.
See, they haven't figured out a way to make adamantium lungs.
No, not yet. Not yet. Well, my theory is that some of the adamantium got into my lung tissue when they ejected me in the mountain.
Ferguson! That's my new catchphrase.
Just this right here.
Just shaking my fist. Alex from the old Doctor Who.
Well, there's actually a musical guest on the show
That's lovely.
yes, I wanted to have a musical guest on the show and make it like a real show or something where we're just hanging out and then all of a sudden a musical guest. So I recently did Ed Helms did a bluegrass themed show here at Largo. And I performed on it, and so did this young lady. I was so blown away that when I talked to Flanagan about having a musical guest, I said, please, can I have her? She's amazing. You probably were first familiar with her from the band Nickel Creek. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sarah Watkins! Yeah, put your uke on there. I'll put that on there.
Thank you. That was a wonderful introduction, Chris.
You're amazing.
Yeah. On that note, I'll play a very mellow song. Whoa. Sorry, Mr. Microphone.
Should I be doing something as host?
No,
I'm just gonna let him figure this microphone
sit back
bullshit
over there.
out.
Just relax. This is your. Oh, darn it.
What happened?
Adam, get your nose to bleed, quick.
Flick his nose.
Do a nosebleed, man. Do a nosebleed.
Flick his nose.
My friend is worn and torn. He's badly wounded. I don't know what he really needs, but bring hope to his heart, relief to his mind. Bring hope to his heart, relief to his mind. He lives for love of what he knows, but he cannot put his trust in much anymore. Bring hope to his heart, relief to his mind. Bring hope to his heart, relief to his mind. Keep my friends safe, strengthen his eyes. The night has been long, but the dawn is sure to be fine. Bring hope to his heart, relief to his mind. Bring hope to his heart, relief to his mind. Bring hope to his heart, relief to his mind. Bring hope to his heart, relief to his mind.
Yeah, do another song. As long as it's not weird for you to have like a tribunal of dudes like, hey, that's pretty sweet you got going on there. Oh, yeah.
That's about me, right? That was about me? That was about me, right? About me, right? Right?
Jonah, she wasn't even facing you.
No, I'm pretty sure it was about me.
I'm pretty sure it was about Adam Savage's nosebleed on stage in front of nerds.
I feel like I have to play an up-tempo song now, but, what? There's an opinion from the back of the room. But I think since you mentioned the bluegrass situation, the LA bluegrass situation, I'll do a fiddle tune.
Can we form a band called the LA Bluegrass Situation?
I believe so.
You know, I'll talk to you in a second. Bad host.
All right, so this is this is a fiddle tune.
Don't judge me, Ferguson.
So this is a fiddle tune called Polly Put the Kettle On. And after I say that title, I always want to say please. It's just not in the title.
Come sit down for a second. No, look closer.
Yeah, my favorite part of that song was when Polly put the kettle on.
That was the best. Well, it didn't happen until
it's like you're waiting for it the whole time. You're like, that happened.
Listen, I gotta give some big props to one fucking person who's like, I am not letting it go. You can stop.
You ever get full of anxiety when that happens? Because it's like a lot of white people, and they'd get off rhythm really fast. Does that ever happen?
No, I was thinking about that guy. I was thinking about him out there alone.
Just sweating.
I'm holding the line.
It's a brave stance. The thing is, you mentioned I grew up playing in Nickel Creek, and we played a lot of tricky time signature changes and stuff. But a lot of times there are certain songs, but it would all work out for those who stayed dedicated. It would eventually end happily on the right beat. But it just takes a lot of concentration and willpower to be like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3
Oh yeah, you gotta kind of block them out, right? Otherwise, do they? Or are there fucking like bluegrass hecklers who are like 2, 4, 8, 6? Do they try to throw you off? They're like, stop heckling.
Yeah, there's some. Well, it's geeking out on a different level.
Nice.
Bluegrass is not.
So
bluegrass is not for the popular kids.
From here.
It's like the ghost of Craig Ferguson.
You guys.
Oh, nice question, Chris.
Oh my God. You guys, it was so
Jimi
sad.
Hendrix is here. He wants to know if he can be on the next one.
It was so sad when Craig Ferguson died. Sometimes it's like I hear him haunting me.
Chris, there's no such thing as a Craig Ferguson ghost. We all know that.
Oh, really?
Hey, by the way, now we're on the topic of that. You think now Patrick Swayze goes up behind people in pottery classes and hugs them just to crack up other ghosts? What? Oh, the Swayze guy's hilarious. Watch this bit he does. Watch it. Check it out.
No.
No? You don't think he does that?
I'm judging.
Oh, Ferguson. Sarah Watkins. I was a fan. I was a huge fan of Nickel Creek.
Really?
Yes. Well, my buddy Mike Furman and I made this bluegrass medley of Radiohead songs called Rodeo Head.
That was you?
Yeah, that was us.
Oh my God!
You know that? Or are you shitting me?
No, yeah, we totally know that.
Oh my God, that's awesome!
That's amazing.
Oh,
Holy cow.
oh my God!
I'm gonna have to text my bandmates and.
Oh my nerd brain boner! Oh my God, I can't take it. I can't fucking take it. I can't fucking take it right now. Are you shitting me, Sarah Watkins, with this story?
we were driving down Santa Monica and.
God damn it, a location! I love it!
And
makes the story that much more plausible. I love it.
Yeah, no, we were listening to it and actually really surprised at how much we loved it.
Oh my God.
Because we totally would try our hands at bluegrassifying Radiohead stuff and to little success. But you guys did it very well.
Oh my, well, I am so blown away that you know that, because we tried to play it around town live a couple times and it was difficult to put a band together, and someone goes, you should get this band Nickel Creek, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure we could get Nickel Creek to come play with us at Molly Malone's one night. Hey, Nickel Creek, it's hard and firm. Want to come play Molly Malone's? Hello? She hung up! Nickel Creek hung up on me! So are you touring now?
You'll never be good enough. It's never going to work out for you.
Oh my God, fucked in the heart, fucked in the heart, fucked in the heart. Oh my God, I don't feel good right now. I don't feel good right now. Are you doing a regular show here at Largo? Or are you guys doing Watkins Family?
We're doing a family hour sometime in July. We're figuring that out. But whenever we're in town, we try and schedule them. It's not regular, but you know, when we're home for a month or two, we'll get like a couple shows a week and a couple shows a month. I mean, it'll be in a little room or.
Well, they almost burned the little room down when we were setting up this total. This is behind the curtain talk. When we showed up for a tech, there was this weird smell. It was like, did someone spontaneously start mesquite barbecuing?
Tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, I smelled it.
You
I
did.
was like, they're going crazy with the incense.
It was not incense, and so like they opened the little room door and all the smoke kind of came out and they couldn't find it. And then all of a sudden I think it was behind the bar, there was a candle holder, and it just had burned like half of the candle holder down, this wooden candle holder. And I was like, I go, how long was that burning? Like all night? And the guy's like, 2.5 days. Yep.
You're all safe. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. But if you could exit in an orderly fashion, you won't die. But you're so.
Actually, you're not fine.
Oh my God, I died, right?
That's right.
I died after my time on the island. I died.
That's right.
Oh my God, I died. All this time I thought I was on an island about science, but in the end I went to heaven.
You're on a snow globe being held by a special needs man.
Oh my God, St. Elsewhere, is that you? St. Elsewhere.
I just woke up and dreamed the whole thing.
I was at that taping.
You were?
I was at the last episode of Newhart. Yeah, that's for another time. We have several guests. But you have a.
I feel bad here. Should I move? I feel.
No, sit down. Get down. Here.
No. You're just.
No. What are you doing?
I'm getting a smaller chair.
What are you?
Careful, Craig Ferguson's ghost.
Don't be so. Look, there you are.
Oh, that's better.
See?
Oh, now I feel like we're on the same level, Ferguson. Don't hit me. I want to. When you do this, you kind of remind me of Evil from Time Bandits, David Warner. Sarah, you have a solo album that is, if I may use this terminology, fucking amazing. It's a self-titled album.
Yes.
How's it doing? How people? They must love it.
Well, I don't think that it's selling terribly well, but
Well, it will now.
But I'm glad.
Nerdist Podcast, severe cultural penetration.
No, but I'm.
Sarah, I have a television show. Would you like to come and perform your song?
Oh my gosh. A moment like this, some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this. I can't believe it's happening to you.
Chris, we're advertising now. We can't get the rights to that song.
Oh, I can't do that?
No.
I can't do that Kelly Clarkson song that she did not write. Oh, snap. You're going to go on the Ferguson show.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's
means...
going to be super fun.
I might have to bump someone. You were on next week, weren't you?
Oh, well, truthfully, Craig.
I'm kidding. I won't. I will.
I don't. On second thought, I think bluegrass is too niche for your mainstream audience, and
Rodeohead, and I'll crash your.
We can't do Rodeohead anymore. The only way we were able to do Rodeohead live is Mike and I literally had to shoot the musicians in a studio, and we pretend we're doing it live via satellite.
Awesome.
And we have this fake news ticker across the bottom that just says stuff like "sharks or dicks." Like they didn't even say anything. And still we'd perform it, and people would be like, "How did you get a satellite set up at Chuckle Hut?" And we're like, "It's not a satellite hookup."
Potato Shack.
Yeah, the Potato Shack. Are you touring a lot?
Yeah,
right
I'm
now?
touring a whole lot actually. I played a bunch last year, and my brother Sean's been playing guitar with me, and then a couple guys that are involved in the Watkins Family Hour that we do at Largo come out and play drums and bass. Don Hevington and Sebastian Steinberg, and so we're gonna do one more week of that kind of touring, and then Sean and I are going to go out and open for Dar Williams.
Cool.
And then I'm doing this, and then I'm doing this
It's the same guy.
crazy. This crazy tour with Garrison Keillor called the Summer Love Tour.
It's the groans from Garrison. This audience is the greatest.
Some old school Daleks down there in Old Lake Beavergun. The Daleks are coming up there.
Who took my fishing rod? Who took my fishing rod?
Old Kronos, the leader of the Daleks, is coming. Yeah, he was on the original one, motherfucker. Yes.
Whoa!
Yeah. Kronos, leader of the Daleks, coming up, fixing his roof there.
You don't have to whip out your Dalek dick and drop it on the table, Craig Ferguson.
Yeah.
Can I just nerd out for a second too? Because your husband works for.
He works for Apple, yeah.
Yeah. Is he gonna get the new iPhone?
I don't know. We haven't talked about that yet. Maybe.
Maybe you should bring him out. We should talk about it right now.
Hey, why should? No, I don't know. I don't know.
Are you a techie person at all?
No, I'm not.
Is there anything you nerd out over?
Fiddle solos.
Fiddle solos. That's awesome.
Let me talk to you about the Dave Matthews Band.
Don't let him. Oh my God.
Do not let him.
Please.
Do you know they're not touring next year?
Real crack. Do you want me to get the genital cough?
Did you ever go down to Georgia and meet the devil?
He has a golden fiddle, they say.
Yeah. I admit you beat me this time.
It's not really a fair trade, a golden fiddle for your fucking eternal soul.
Yeah, I know.
It's a pretty shitty deal.
It's gold.
What?
It's gold.
What are you gonna do? But then you melt it, and then it's no good.
Can't
What are you
even
gonna
play
do
it,
with it?
dude. Shut up.
Too heavy.
Devil, this was a pretty bad deal. In the end, I've completely reconsidered this
talked about
weird
it.
contest where you show up and fiddle people.
Oh, it's completely understandable. I understand. It happens all the time.
Well, you're a very understanding devil. Thanks, Devil.
Oh, yeah, no, next time. Hey, what are you up to now?
Oh, I don't know. It's gonna go to
Want a jam?
Devil, you're okay.
I have no friends.
No.
Come on, Devil. Ralph Macchio's playing with that black jazz guy.
Ah, that's a reference to Crossroads. Thank you, person. Sarah, you are delightful. I'm so sorry we do this sometime, this weird nerd storm that just happened. Don't worry, the internet will keep me in line after they hear this. But do you have any, SarahWatkins.com?
Yeah, and I'm on Twitter, and
What is that?
and I'm so bad though with internet stuff. But I stay quite active on
I
what
follow you on
can.
Twitter, at Sarah Watkins with no H.
That's right.
Yep.
We have messaged each other.
We call it DMing. Not to be confused with dungeon mastering. Roll for initiative. Oh, God. Oh, I've done it again. Oh, the bruising.
Two fists.
I have to say though, I mean, I'm not a nerd on to sit at this table even, but like I did actually have tape on my glasses when I was in 4th grade.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I don't see why that's a nerd thing. I had the same thing.
Right? I didn't realize.
Sit with that for a second, Jonah. Where are you going, Adam Savage?
How did I out-nerd Adam Savage? No, it's like sometimes it happens.
It was just I like to think of it as practicality. Like, you know, I didn't really need a new pair of glasses because I could just tape them. And my mom's like, really? Are you sure you don't want just...
Snooze, you lose, dude. Piano bench.
But, yeah. So, I mean, I didn't know it was nerdy until I saw it on Saved by the Bell. The nerd.
The arbiter of nerddom, Saved by the Bell. Were those kids ever really saved by the bell?
What happened? Is everything okay?
I got a call from my kids, and I thought it was an emergency call, but it was a I can't sleep call. So I said, go to sleep.
Nothing. No emergency there then, Pop, is there?
Tell them a story.
How is it? Did your kids hear you stand up?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, God, and they've given me so much more material, and I can't even do it. I just picture them being totally scarred. Like, you know, my stand-up here was all about talking to my kids about sex, and the last 3 weeks have been just like a flood of really insane crap has been going on, and I really wish I could go over it, but I pictured them, like, happening across it, and it's just not the age to do
If you didn't hear the Adam Savage podcast, his first line of stand-up was, I think my son knows what cocksucker means.
Would you like to write for my show?
Well, Sarah Watkins, we are almost at the end of our time on the show here. Would you please do one more song to sort of take us home, as they say in the bluegrass and fields?
And please, Sarah, no more songs about me. My girlfriend's here. It's kind of embarrassing.
This is a, let's see here. I'm going to use this one for my, I'm going to do a little press conference with these mics.
Miss Watkins, what are you going to do about the healthcare system? Miss Watkins, who are you wearing? Miss Watkins, who are you wearing?
Healthcare system to who are you wearing?
Yep. It's political but fashionable.
It's what they cover. All right, so this is a John Hartford song, and if the panel here cares to sing along with the
Oh, that would be a mistake, I think.
All right. Gonna pack up some of these empties here just as soon as we know where they lay. Tied up with them jolly and leaving lines on a long hot summer day. For every day you work on the Illinois River, get a half a day off with pay. On a towboat building up barges on a long hot summer day. Well, last night we had pork for supper. Today it'll be chicken consomme and a fruit jar full of iced tea on a long hot summer day. For every day you work on the Illinois River, get a half a day off with pay. On a towboat building up barges on a long hot summer day. Well, we put a man off in Beardstown when we come down yesterday. I'm gonna get off at Alton on a long hot summer day. For every day you work on the Yellow River, get a half a day off with pay. On a towboat building up barges on a long hot summer day. For every day you work on the Illinois River, get a half a day off with pay. On a towboat building up barges on a long hot summer day.
second. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, huge hand for Sarah Watkins. An enormous hand for Matt Myra, Jonah Ray. Adam Savage was here. Mr. Craig Ferguson. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Adam, Chris Hart. And me, forgive me. The next Nerdist podcast live at Largo will be July 28th with guest Fred Willard. Oh, it's going to be amazing. Tickets will be on sale soon for that. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Good night, everybody!
Now leaving Nerdist.com.